Alright, this isn't exactly a supercar. It's the Annis or Annie's, I don't know, 300R. I'm a little nervous about this car. I mean, I do feel like it has good speed, but the handling could be a little sketch. Feels good so far, pretty much. That felt good. That felt good. The orange lights feel good. It's like Halloween. Okay, that handling felt really good too. No spin out or anything. Okay. Handling's actually really good. Maybe a little sketchier at like max speed turning, you know. But as far as like low and medium speed turning, it's great. A lot of cars would have just like spun out right there. Nice, first try. That was the Annie's 300R. The SM722. Not off to a great start. Like, for example, oh god. I don't see it happening. Fuck. Oh my god. Did I really just do that? Fuck. Fuck. Okay, this is my third try with this car. I might give up after this one if I fail again. I don't know. This car's pretty close to the line of like going from easy to like medium difficulty, and I don't want to get stuck on something. I just want to get all the easiest cars out of the way. So I might like come back to this one later if I fail here. This one's just a little too slidey. Doing a lot of counter steering. Try to prevent a slide out. Whew. I just scratched my eyebrow, almost ruined my whole run. I feel like we've got a good line going. We're at 119 on the corner. That's like average. That's like a good growler run. Meaning this is very much possible. You can just put it in there. Hopefully we don't like... I think you can pay to slow down a little bit. If you keep control, I feel like you're gonna make up time in the long run by slowing down. Okay, now is not the time to slow down. Now is the time to fucking go. Whew. Third time's the charm. I'm glad I'm done with this piece of crap car. That's the Benefactor SM722 for reference. Jesus Christ. What is going on with the lighting situation? My neons and headlights really need to be fixed on this car. Oh my god! This car has great handling. This super handling. In fact, because it is in fact a supercar. I don't know what it's called. It's like zorrusso or something. Zorrusso. Oh, fuck. Shouldn't be trying to read the fucking name of the car. I should be focused. I like how even with that we're still like making amazing time. We were making amazing time last time too, but then we hit like 3 cars in a row on the downhill. The game is just trolling me. I guess technically I'm happy to be trolled on such a highly performing car, because I don't have any anxiety about not being able to complete this on this car. I feel like it's going to be a piece of cake. This is the kind of car where you can crash multiple times. Still win. Crap. Forgot to do this. We got the pfister 811. Apparently it's a supercar. I remember it being kind of like, I don't know, for some reason I was thinking bad handling, or like spinning out when I think of this car. I don't know why. It's doing pretty good so far. No major complaints. My driving could probably use some work. Here's the real test. I think we passed. Here's the real test. We're making great time. 1:15. That's very decent. If we don't crash, we're definitely golden. We can just maintain cleanliness. I'm gonna try to attempt a kind of conservative speed attempt, especially like on these corners and stuff. Nice, first try. Okay, first attempt with the coquette D10. My initial appraisal is that it's very good. Maybe like slightly worse than a supercar in terms of like sliding out and stuff. $114. That's pretty much identical to the last car we did. So all we really have to do is keep it together. Unfortunately for us, this car's handling is a lot worse than the last one. I think we gotta really manage our speed well. We do not want to go into a drift here and then drift into oncoming traffic or something like that. Oh, never mind. It's gonna be an easy victory. Nice. Here's another car I really like the look of, especially the back plate and the taillights and the spoiler and all that. I'm just kind of going through my convertibles now. Actually, I have a whole garage full of convertibles. But this is specifically, this is separate from that. This is in my CEO office. I specifically have basically like super convertibles. That's what I've been going through. I have like one layer of super convertibles, and then I have a layer with the best supercars, and then also there's a layer with like the best motorcycles. So that's all part of like my number one CEO garage. So that's what I'm kind of going through right now. A little slower than my last couple, but not by much. Should be easy. Unless something tragic doesn't happen. Fucker. I had to slow down so much because of him. Please don't let there be a car. Lucky. That was scary at the end. First try though. Okay, speaking of super convertibles, I think this is my most expensive convertible. I don't know if you would even call it a convertible. Technically, it just doesn't have a roof. Pretty high hopes for this car. It's one of my favorites. Is like, oh my gosh. Oh, don't count that against the car. I had to scratch my nose. It's not the car's fault. But yeah, this is one of like the original like nice cars I bought. So it kind of has a special place in my heart. And I really like it too, like the look of the back. The exaggerated like huge fins and spoilers and stuff that you can do with it. I like the design a lot. I also like the diffuser stuff and the exhaust and all that. Kind of looks a little spaceshipy, but like a really cool like one. Oh, frick. Like if we were an FTL, we'd probably be like a pirate. Oh, fucking. Like frame drops like there. Oh no. I'm feeling. Oh no. Okay, I'll be honest, I got a little impatient. I tried to cut that too tight. I panicked. Can we just do this normally? The last two runs I did, I just like horribly slid out into this like gorge or like, you know, off the side of the road in the dirt and stuff. I keep like having to itch or itch a scratch or something like that. Good. Very good. Recovered. Good lines, good lines. Great line. Liking that. Not amazing, but at least we didn't hit the tree. That's all that really matters. Probably should have slowed down a little more there, I think. That would have been faster in the end. Sometimes you really do just have to slow that down, like, a lot. Like right here. You don't want to get too much air right there and, like, not get grip. We can make up our time by accelerating as soon as we get grip. I didn't slide out at all, so this should be like guaranteed. A little slower than I was kind of expecting it to be, but not bad. Took only 3 tries, and that was just with 2 horrible spinouts caused by itchiness. Okay. The last super convertible I have is the scramjet, and that's a military vehicle with boost, so you can't use it. So now we're on to the 3rd level of the first CEO office garage. First car we got, you can see in the bottom right, whatever it's called. I can't look, I'm busy. But it's called like the LM87 or something like that. Benefactor. I don't know. It's the one that's got kind of like a weird teardrop shape, and it's like, looks like a spaceship. Or like a space shuttle, almost. So as far as the car goes, we're at a 114, and that was with a pretty suboptimal line. Probably could have been like 113, 112 maybe. So yeah, this is a Good car. It's got good handling. It likes to stick to the ground. Doesn't really slide out. It's got good brakes. Good acceleration. Good top speed. It's got everything. Easy first try. It's a great car. It looks good too. Okay. Let's get... Okay, next we got our murdered out tyrus. Oh no. Oh my god. That doesn't count. To be honest, it's like 1 a.m. or something. No, it's 2 a.m. Hardly keep my eyes open. I wanted to mention something. I'm trying to get as many time trial victories on as many different cars as I can, but there's a lot of supercars that I don't have yet. Just thought I should mention that. It's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a limiting factor. Like for example, the debauchee, I think it's called Champion. It's the one Dr. Dre has, and it's green, and when you do the Dre mission, you go to his recording studio and it's like under siege by that one dude. He tells you you take Dre's car over there, and he's like, don't mess up Dre's car, man. Franklin says that on the phone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called the Champion. That's just an example of one I don't have. I think I have like the first 2 or 3 rows on like the most expensive supercars. But under that, there's like a lot I don't have still, kind of in the, like the medium price range. I haven't really like gotten to that as much yet. So yeah. In the future though, I can only get more and more cars, right? We got plenty of garage space too, I think. I haven't really been checking my time because I've only got my right eye open for one thing. Working on less depth perception than usual. Okay, a nice easy victory even though I'm not in my peak state. Did I say first try? I did hit that rock the first time, I guess, technically, but whatever. I should probably stop and do the rest tomorrow. This game keep my eyes open. Here we got the emerus. I just spent the past 2 days editing all of the footage, and it's kind of surreal, really, actually being in control over the car after watching it for so long. I don't know how to explain this. So anyway, this car's really great handling. It's like it's kind of like the Thrax, like a super car that's bordering on like the handling of those like Formula 1 race cars. The only difference is this one, the handling is a little worse, I would say, than like a Thrax or the Emperor. This one's a little more like slidey outy. But if you look at the time, 112 is really fast for that, for the part of the road where the concrete turns from gray to white. That's normally how I keep track of like how I'm doing. It's my time at that point. Okay, that was horrible. I think we still got this. I think we still got this. I'm trying my best to throw, but this is a really good car. I should mention I actually tried it twice with this car already. But on the halfway through the first attempt, I ran out of recording hard drive space. And I didn't notice. So yeah, I kind of lost those two. So yeah, third time's the charm with the emerus. I should probably
I'll bring it by.
mention that I don't think we're gonna do this again until I feel like I have all the cars that I could possibly need, because otherwise it kind of feels like I'm just wasting my time. So I'll probably just go back to my old ways of just doing Cayo Perico and all that stuff. Just go back to earning money. But yeah, anyway. Here's our first attempt with the Krieger. Have not really driven this around at all. Not really familiar with it. But because it's so expensive, I'm gonna assume it's like really good. Okay, that was just unfortunate traffic. Positioning. Nothing I can do. I don't think it's gonna matter, honestly. With these supercars, they're like 15 seconds ahead of what they need to be, so you can afford a 15-second crash, right? And that only took probably like 5 seconds, right? I don't know. Just kind of guesstimating here. No, that was really bad. That was just unfortunate. That could be me being rusty or me being unfamiliar with the car, maybe. This is technically just my second run of the day, and I haven't really played yesterday or the day before. Oh, get out of my way. Jerk. Okay, I don't mind that. This car is just so fast. It would be hard not to win. Yep, that's the Krieger. I bought it on sale. Okay, this isn't a supercar, so this might seem kind of random. But I just had this car. It's like it's like a leftover car, and it's the only one in the garage. It's just this and a Batty 801. But yeah, I just decided to throw it in right now, just because why not? And this car is the Lampadati pfister. It's a sports classic. I'm a little worried about the handling and the acceleration, but I figured I'd do a run and just see how it goes. See where we stand. If it has potential, maybe I'll just, knock it out real quick. If it seems way too hard, I'll just move on to the next supercar. Maybe I'll come back to this if I have time. I forgot to mention this, but it's Wednesday night, so I'm kind of a bit like up against the clock. I have limited hard drive space, so I had to spend 2 days editing to open up hard drive space so I could record again. I only have like 300 gigs to work with. Doesn't go that far. So yeah. I'm liking my restraint, although I am scared. I'm scared that I'm too slow. Yeah, this car is just a little slow. I'm gonna move on. Okay, now we're gonna do the Torero XO. Hopefully this thing... Actually, now that I think about it, does this thing even have a spoiler? I'm pretty sure this is a car that has a spoiler by default. What the hell, dude? Was that guy even using his blinker? Because I don't think so. But yeah, I think this card comes with a spoiler by default. It's that little flappy thing that pops up. So, I think we're good. Probably. Hopefully this thing's better than the regular Torero, which I gave up on after a couple tries. That thing was just really slow and liked to spin out. It was just a very mediocre car. It probably falls under the category of growler in that it can be done, but you might have to try 75 times in a row to do it, you know? So yeah. But the Torero XO seems a lot faster. To be fair, I didn't check the clock, so I'm not really basing that on anything. I'm too scared to look at the clock, honestly. Oh my god. No, what? Dude, I turned. This is about to be the most scuffed thing in history. Oh my god, there's just stuff everywhere. Get out of my way, peasants. I can't believe I still made it with time to spare. Well, apparently this car's really fast, but the handling could use work. Alright, here's our second to last supercar. Unless there's some that I'm forgetting somewhere. It's totally possible there is. I don't think there is. Right? Probably not. Maybe. Probably not. Anyway, what's this car called? Tezeract. Yeah, this is the electric. I like this car. I think it looks cool. I think it sounds nice. It's fast. From what I remember, the handling is decent. I don't know. I can get slightly confused sometimes with the Proto X88 or something like that. Proto something, you know. The other like crazy looking car. I get them confused sometimes. I'm pretty sure the Proto is the one that has bad handling. Maybe not bad, but worse than this car. not an amazing time, but good enough. Okay, here goes first try with the proto. Kind of feel like the turning is slightly wide. Not like horribly or anything. That was weird. It was like I hit that guy but didn't hit him. This thing feels pretty nice. It's pretty sticky to the road. Doesn't really slide out too hard. Can kind of get a small drift going a little bit without spinning out on those sharp turns, so that's cool. Let's see how we do here. Pretty well. Managed to stick to the road pretty well. Nice. So that's the X80 Proto. So I guess we're done with supercars now. That'll probably be the end of the video.